welcome in everybody. The temple doors are open and the cleric is in his confessional. Welcome in everybody. My name is AlecTheCleric. I am a Wonderlands and Borderlands content creator, YouTube editor, and all-around funny dad who has no idea what he's doing when he plays games, but we have a lot of fun anyway. This is episode 2 of The Confessional, where we interview incredible and interesting people from all walks of life and places within the gaming and streaming community. And the best part about this show is that you, as the viewer, has a chance to be involved. All you have to do is join our Discord server, !Discord if you are here live, or you can check out the link in the description below if you're checking us out later on YouTube or your favorite podcast site like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. Wherever you download awesome content, we are going to be there. And if you do join us live, you will have your chance to ask questions live and have your question answered live right here on the show every Sunday evening. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well, @ClericCast, to see who will be coming up in next week's episode so you can stay fully up to speed on all things confessional. All right, enough of that intro stuff. Let's get to our guest here tonight. Joining me this week is the absolutely amazing content creator that I am so excited and honored to get a chance to talk to. She is an incredible and creative cosplayer, prop maker, Borderlands fan, content creator, and streamer. She has produced some absolutely amazing, detailed, incredible cosplays that I have ever seen. And I really cannot wait to find out all about her process and how cosplay works and how her journey as a cosplayer began. Please welcome the incredible JessilynCupcake. JessilynCupcake. My God, I cannot speak. More caffeine, please. I'll fix that in post. Jessilyn, how are you doing this evening?
I'm great. How are you? I'm so excited to be here.
I am so glad that you're here with us tonight. I just have not had enough caffeine apparently all day. I've been drinking coffee, whatever I can get my hands on apparently, because my brain just went out the door. So that's fun. So why don't we start off tonight just really simply? Why don't we tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Oh, wow. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm JessilynCupcake. I am primarily a Borderlands cosplayer. Like, Borderlands is like my life. I am obsessed. It's just really what started my cosplay inspiration. And like now I do cosplay a ton of other things, but my love for Borderlands just always comes back.
You know, I think you're going to be you're definitely in the right company here, because we all love the Land series, and for all of us, you know, or for a good majority of our audience here, I would say Borderlands specifically has been just such an incredible influence in who we are as content creators and just like as gamers as a whole. So
Absolutely.
like you are definitely 100% in the right place when you're here with us. If you wouldn't mind, just give our audience a quick rundown on what it is exactly cosplay is. Because, I mean, before I became a little bit further in depth in, like, the gamer culture and stuff like that, I didn't really know cosplay. Like, I obviously saw people at conventions that were dressed up in cool costumes, but it is so much more than just, like, picking a character and pulling up Amazon and buying a costume and then showing up at a convention. So, like, if you wouldn't mind just giving us kind of the cliff notes on what it actually means to be a cosplayer and to cosplay.
So like you can be a cosplayer and cosplay and just pull up Amazon and just buy a costume and wear it. Honestly, to me, cosplay is just the act of being the character, whether you buy the costume or make it. But personally, I like making my costumes. I just like it because it's like such a huge creative outlet for me. It's just really interesting to build something from the ground up and then to turn into a whole different character. Like, I've met so many people that are like, I don't know what you look like out of cosplay because you look like a different person. And I'm like, oh, okay. But it's just like wearing a costume to show your love for the characters that you love.
I like that. So in choosing a character then, like what do you look for when you are looking for a character to cosplay? Like, what inspires you the most, or what stands out to you about a character that you would look at that character and say, "Oh yeah, I would totally cosplay that."
So honestly, like what their costume looks like I don't have to love the character crazy to like want to cosplay them. If they have a costume that I think is very interesting that I want to recreate because I think it would be a challenge, I'll do it. But then there is characters that I see that no matter what, I just fall in love with everything about them. Their personality, their outfit, their everything. So, I mean, there's like both ends of the spectrum for me.
I got you.
My own personal like want to grow and learn new things by creating things that I'm not sure I can.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with this character. I have to devour every piece of knowledge to become them.
And that's so cool too, because you said, unlike maybe some people within the community, like you build your own stuff, right? So like
Yes.
you go from scratch and like create this character that becomes like and I know that probably 90% of the people who are either listening or watching this have seen your Borderlands cosplays, and they are just like beyond spot on. Like it's ridiculous. So like how much time does it take or like, and I know that's probably a loaded question because so many of them are so different, but like to take a character from concept to an actual cosplay ready to go, like on average, how much time do you spend working on that?
Borderlands 3 Tina took me 172 hours.
Jeez.
I clocked that because it was a competition piece.
Gotcha.
But then like Wonderlands Tina, I built in 2 weeks.
Okay. So it's all over the board then. Just
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
So what will determine that? Is it kind of how detailed you're going to go, or like the materials, or like what's just kind of give us a quick process overview, like from start to finish. Like how do you get from point A to 100 and something hours?
Oh God, you just don't do anything that makes any sense. Cosplay is not this like very organized, thought out process. It's not in any way, shape, or form.
I gotcha.
I do try my hardest to start with a single piece, complete that whole piece before I move on to the next piece. So, but then there's instances of that where that does not work. So like when I built Tina's wig, I patterned it all out, cut all the pieces out of foam, dremeled them all, put them back together, glued it all together, and then painted it. But then there's pieces of like her costume, like her breastplate and her like backpack. Those I built in separate pieces, but colors that are similar, I have to wait to paint so that they all end up the same color.
Yeah.
Because even if you buy the same color paint in a store, it's not always guaranteed to be the same color paint.
I can only imagine.
Oh, it's so bad. So I feel like there's no correct thought process to me. I just like start something and dive right in.
So it's kind of just all jazz. It's like all free flow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like whatever I feel like building that day I'll work on.
How many projects do you typically have? Like I know you said earlier that typically when you start a project, you like to take that project all the way to completion. On average, do you have a couple of different projects that are bouncing around at once? Like how many? What do you typically do with that?
So sometimes, like right now, I am currently like redoing my Borderlands 3 Moxie wig, but I'm also building Starlight from The Boys.
Yeah.
And then like a week ago, I was finishing the tail end of making Raven from Teen Titans while I started Starlight. So usually like I try to finish things and take them to the end, but there's some things that take longer than others. So like Raven's belt, I could only cast 2 resin jewels a day.
Oof.
So it's not like it's a big thing that takes a lot of time, so that's why I started something new. Now I'm waiting for the rest of the pieces and fabric for Starlight to arrive for me to keep going with that. So I took on redoing this wig because it's only going to take me like a few days. I try to keep it one thing, or else I will walk away from it and probably never go back.
I totally understand that. I mean, even just in like video creation, I know exactly how that feels. So like I can't even imagine with actual physical projects like that. Like that would just blow my mind completely. But we actually got our first question from the audience here. And by the way, everybody watching live on Twitch, don't forget you can ask questions live in chat and have your questions answered live in chat. First question comes from Toxic Tess. She wants to know what got you into cosplay in the first place, and who, if anyone, is your biggest inspiration when it comes to cosplay?
So, cosplay was like an accident for me. I ended up going to I'm sorry, my husband ended up going to this anime convention called Anime Next in New Jersey. And I was at work and I was like, that sounds so cool. I cannot believe you went without me. So the next day he was like, do you want to go? And I was like, you know what? I hear they like dress up at these things. So I wore like a Sailor Moon like t-shirt that looked like Sailor Moon's outfit and like a blue skirt. And I bought him a tuxedo t-shirt and a foam top hat. And then I was like blown away when I saw that every single person was in a full costume. And I like couldn't believe that that was something that people did. And I was like, wow, like there's things like this that you could just go and dress up. And that like blew my mind and it absolutely made me fall in love with cosplay.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And then I look up to like so many people. I love Kamui cosplay. She has done some of the most amazing things ever. Jessica Negri is a big one because she's just having fun, and that's what I really, really, really love is just when people have fun.
Yeah, totally. And so you mentioned earlier too that like with your Tina piece, that was a competition piece. Like I knew that was kind of a thing when it came to cosplay as far as like competition and stuff like that. But what is that like? Because obviously there's a lot more intensity that goes into a competition piece than there would be into just like, you know, going to a con or something like that. So what is that process like as far as, and what is that like? Because I don't think a lot of our audiences have ever seen or been to a cosplay competition. So I'm very interested to hear about that.
That's like a whole different scene. I think the biggest thing about the cosplay convention scene, which I don't think people realize, is everyone is so nice.
Really?
So nice. I have met some of the most amazing people in the convention, like competition scene. But it's also very like, it's very nerve-wracking. When I build something like that, I mean, I'm trying always to make my cosplay is very like as clean as possible, but there's just like the extra steps that you need to take if you're gonna compete in a large scale competition. So I actually won second place at New York Comic-Con last year, and the reason I won, which is like the craziest thing, is because I lined the inside of my Tina backpack with a fabric. So it's made out of foam, but on the inside it's a fabric, and it is also rainbow puppy paw prints.
Oh my gosh.
And the judges thought that that was absolutely insane, that you could open my backpack, it was functional, and it was lined. So it's little things like that that you need to think about, that what could these judges want to see that would take you a step further than someone else competing.
That is so crazy to me. Like, just like, well, no, I mean, like, it's so cool that like that you have to go down to details as fine as that, you know? Yeah. Like it's not just, you know, oh, you look the most like the character that you're trying to do. No, it's like super detailed. That is so cool.
So the woman that won New York Comic-Con last year, I was actually very angry. A lot of social media was very nasty because a lot of people were like, oh, Jess should have won. And I was like, no, I should not have. The woman that won last year, she had like hand embroidered over like 70 yards of skirt. And it was like the most beautiful thing. She quilted all these images in them by hand. And I was like, it's just the amount of detail that goes into these costumes is mind-blowing.
Oh man, that is insane. So like within the competitive scene then, I mean it sounds like for the majority for the majority of competition that the cosplayers that are involved, like are you guys a pretty tight-knit group? Like do you guys bounce ideas off of each other? Like what's the community like?
There's like a few people that I do talk to and keep in touch with, and can openly talk to them about them. Sometimes, you just meet somebody in passing, but a lot of the times it is the same people competing.
Right.
But sometimes a lot of them have like gone, once you win a very large title, usually some people go on to keep, I'm sorry, I don't know the word for it. I guess like to do different things. So a lot of people that hit a certain level, they'll then become judges instead of keep competing. So
I gotcha. So it's more than just there's more to it than just the people that make or wear the costumes. Like there's a whole other kit and caboodle that goes along with that then.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you're in a competition, you basically go into a room with X amount of judges, and they will literally ask you questions about how you built it. Literally pick up pieces of your costume to see like if it's finished or whatever. They want to get like deep in there and see everything that you've done.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Very intimidating.
Yeah, I should say so. That's intense. That is hella intense. I mean, I love it. That's awesome, but still, that is crazy intense. We've got another question from the community here. Captain Spaulding would like to know, what is the best costume that you have ever seen at a convention?
Oh my god. Okay, wait, I know what this is. This past year, in February at KatsuCon, there was a man that was dressed like Megamind. And it was the 100% best costume I've ever seen in my life. Like, he had the prosthetic to make the giant head.
Yeah.
His body paint was flawless. His, like, leather suit was flawless. He was... I swear, if you Google Megamind... yeah, that's him. The blue guy, Megamind. Yeah, if you Google Megamind cosplayer, you'll probably find this guy. And he was hands down the best costume I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. So like, how have you ever done any costumes that are like on that kind of crazy tier? Because like to do Megamind, like you'd have to do some crazy like body shaping stuff and whatnot too.
Yeah.
Like, how do you pull something like that off?
Prosthetics?
Really?
That's not something that I've ever really dove into. I'm not like super savvy with makeup or anything, so not my wheelhouse.
It wouldn't be mine either. Got another one here from Beef Squash 5000. He'd like to know, what's Halloween like at you guys' house?
So my husband and I got married on Halloween.
Hey! So intense.
We always celebrate, but we're usually just like out doing something, or like it's not as like exciting as you guys would think. Halloween is like so different from cosplay, like that I honestly just like don't. Sometimes I don't even dress up.
Well, I can imagine too that like after having done that for so long, and then it's like here comes the holiday where everybody dresses up. It's like no. Like I do this all year long. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I love it. All right, let's have a little icebreakery fun type question here. I like to throw these in from time to time just so that these can actually tell a lot about a person. So, if you were an ice cream, what flavor would you be, and why?
I want to say cotton candy.
Okay. I like this.
Not that I even really like cotton candy ice cream. I just feel like I would be cotton candy ice cream because I feel it's a loud ice cream flavor.
That is. Oh yeah. That and like bubble gum. That's like like two ice cream flavors that I look at and I'm just like, I'll take some vanilla, thank you. As a content creator myself, and like quite a few members of our audience are content creators or aspiring content creators, a lot of times the whole like work-life balance can get really difficult to manage. So how then, as a content creator yourself and as a cosplayer, like how do you manage the work-life balance and keeping kind of everything organized and in check? Because that is really hard to do when I'm just sitting at a computer making videos. So I can only imagine what it's like for you.
Yeah. It is super hard. I definitely have learned that I need to choose what's the most important for myself. I know a lot of people want to see specific things from me. I enjoy streaming. I love it. I love hanging out with a community. But streaming is the one thing I have yet to find a balance for. So when I can't do it, I do have to cut it.
Yeah.
No matter what, and I say this religiously, if you are trying to be a content creator, do not ever give up your sleep for it. It's not worth it. I 100% am in bed by 9 every night. Tonight is an exception. And I sleep all night because that's really important. If you're not, getting enough sleep, then you're not going to perform as well in your day job or doing the things that you want to do after.
And that's one of the hardest things, I think, for a lot of people to manage is just like the whole sleep aspect. I mean, a lot of content creators will be like, "No, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I've got too much work to do right now. Like I could, if I didn't have somebody like my partner Stacy, who would like force me to stop working sometimes. Like I would literally just do it all the time because that work is never done.
No, don't do it. Don't do that. Stop that right now.
I will do my best. But like, okay, so like when you're in the middle of a build and stuff like that, like you said, that can take sometimes over 100 hours to complete a build. Like how long will you spend working on a build per day before you're like, okay, this is enough? Like how do you kind of manage that whole aspect of it, like with work-life balance?
It just like depends on like what I'm working on. I guess like some days I only may spend like 2 or 3 hours on it. Some days when I get really into something, I will spend literally like 12 hours crafting.
Wow.
But that's like on a weekend when I'm not at work or something.
I don't blame you. I mean, me and Stacy have started like carving out like, no, we are done working by this time of day and we are just going to sit and we are just going to watch something on TV because dear God. Like,
yeah.
So one thing that does come along with that kind of, these crazy schedules is burnout. Like that's something that a lot of content creators experience, and I'm sure you as a cosplayer have struggled with burnout too. How do you manage burnout and avoid burning out in the middle of a design, or do you have any tips for us on how to manage that kind of thing?
So honestly, like sometimes you just need a day to do absolutely nothing, and it is okay to do absolutely nothing. And sometimes you need weeks for that, and like just do it, honestly. There's been a few weeks that like weekends I haven't really been working on costumes, and I'll work on something in my house that needs fixing, or I like to do what I call like palette cleanser projects. So like I've made a lot of small cosplays in the last few weeks because if I was to make a Borderlands costume, every single costume that I made, I would just jump off a cliff. Absolutely not. That's just unrealistic. It's so time consuming, and it's just like it's a lot to take on. So I'll take like small like sewing projects that I know that I can finish in like less than a week, and it's just like a chill thing that I'm doing, like no obligations, and that definitely helps.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, like for me, there are just days too that I have to just completely step back, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to turn on the computer today. I'm not going to even look in that thing's general direction, and just kind of take a step back. But I mean, that is solid advice too for everything, not just in content creation, but just because you can have burnout not just as a content creator, but like in just about every aspect of your life. So
Yeah.
being able to take a step back is You know, for some people probably easier than others, but like you said, it's 100% necessary.
Yeah, it's
Hun-
very easy for me. I just pick up my phone and I'm like, I'm just gonna look at my phone today.
What's on TikTok today? Oh,
Yeah,
it's been 6 hours. All right, fantastic.
exactly.
Question from Mother Stacy that actually feeds into what we were just talking about. Do you do all of your cosplaying while still also having a full-time job
Oh
and a
yeah,
home life? Oh my gosh, what do you do for work
yes.
full-time?
I am a seamstress.
No kidding.
I work for a private company that makes maternity dresses for photo shoots.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's fine.
Well, good
I,
lord then.
it's
How do you
Yeah,
do
I mean,
that?
so what's crazy is I actually my position just changed. Like I was doing several different things at my job, but now I am like strictly sewing. So the last week I've been at work like 8 hours a day sewing, and then I would come home and be like, I gotta sew some more.
Oh, good god. I can't even imagine. Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And then we bought our house like 2 years ago, so and it needed a lot of upgrades. So now I'm trying to balance that and also doing all these things that we've been taking on since it's nice out, doing a lot of work outside. So it's just like, yeah, I somehow fit cosplay into this and I sleep at least 8 hours a night. I don't really know how I do it.
I bow to you because I that is impossible. You are some kind of wizard, and we all need to learn your ways
I
because
am a sewing wizard. I will not. That is 100%.
yeah,
Like,
that is 100% accurate. Can
yeah.
confirm. Can confirm. Have seen many of your cosplays. Can confirm. Sewing wizard, definitely. Let's see. Oh, we got another question from the community here. This one's from Chaos Demon. He asks, have you ever traveled abroad for conventions? And if you have you ever had questions from customs about the stuff that you are taking with you?
Okay, so I only once I went to MCM London. I was working for a company called CEX at the time, and I just like happened to say in passing to like one of the higher ups, like, "Oh, I would love to go to that," and he's like, "You want to go?" Okay, so so I worked their booth and cosplayed, not as like a booth cosplayer, but as like a person that also had to be a cashier and salesperson.
Wow.
But like customs never said anything to me. But in 2 weeks, I am actually going to Scotland for something.
Ooh.
And I am absolutely terrified. Like
Yeah.
terrified.
I mean, I can't even imagine like trying to bring like, hey, customs officer, yes, here is my giant foam sword. Can I bring that on the airplane? I mean,
Luckily I'm only bringing Moxie, so she doesn't like have a lot to her. But
okay.
like even just traveling I went to California and Texas this year with Tina,
Hmm.
and like I had to fit my clawbringer hammer in my suitcase, and my biggest fear was that they were going to open the suitcase and like in two giant, and I'm talking giant suitcases, like half my body size, I had like strategically fit Tina in these two suitcases, so if like anybody opened it, like disaster, absolutely not.
Oh my god. How do you even travel with that kind of thing? Because I mean, because for Tina especially, like, I mean, just the wig itself, like, it must be an absolute nightmare to travel with that kind of stuff.
So everything but my wig breaks down. So my
Oh my
hat
god.
breaks down into two pieces. My clawbringer hammer, the head is one piece, and then the handle comes off it. But Tina's wig was an issue. I had to like put it in my roller skate bag and bring it as a carry-on because I was like, something's gonna happen to this. It's not safe.
Oh my gosh. I know the anxiety alone would just kill me.
Oh
Just
yeah, yeah, it's real bad.
I can only imagine. My god. Um, Got another question from the community here. This one is from BenMe3331. He wants to know, what is like your absolute favorite cosplay that you have ever made? And I know
It's
there's a
definitely
lot.
it's definitely Borderlands 3 Tina.
Yeah.
That's like that cosplay is like my crowning achievement. Like I never thought I could make something that detailed and like that crazy. And that costume started like a lot for me because I never thought I would even cosplay Tina. And it just opened like a ton of doors for me. And I have such a like, there's just like a space in my heart for her. Like that is my favorite costume.
Oh man. And it's such an amazing costume too. I mean, like,
Thank you.
it is absolutely amazing, top notch. And like, while we're on the subject of Borderlands cosplay specifically, like, how do you guys do that line makeup to give yourself
Oh,
that effect? Because
that's
that
so
is like,
easy.
it's easy.
It's
Because that
so
looks
easy.
intensely difficult to me, but maybe that's just because I know nothing.
No,
So
it's literally like it's a NYX liquid eyeliner pencil. And I just honestly I just follow all the lines in like her reference pictures like
yeah, that does sound
it's just
incredibly easy. Now I feel I don't know, like it's just always been so cool to me because like you especially like when you do a Borderlands character and you just nail that look of like the lines and the art. It is literally like a Borderlands character just like jumped out of the screen and is standing there as the artist drew them. And I've
thank
always
you.
just been blown away by like how like
Sometimes I honestly don't know. Sometimes I like put it on and I'm like, wow, I look fake. Yeah.
I look like I just crawled out of a video game. Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. Comfortably Dumb from the community asks, have you ever done any pet cosplays?
I have not.
Okay. Is that something you would ever do? Like make a costume for your pet or something like that?
I like want to, but so my dog is like very active. Um, I like want to make him something, and he kind of likes clothes, but I also like don't know what to make him.
I got
I've
you.
I've played with this like idea of making him like Enrique the Skag, but I haven't done it.
If you do that, that will be that will be like one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
You ever see the Borderlands cat cosplays?
No.
What? You have to look that up.
Okay, screw that. I'm looking that up right now
You have
on
to.
air.
Like
I'm
it's very good. They're very good.
Borderlands cat cosplay.
It's like it's literally like a cosplaying cat. They dress this cat
Oh
up and like
my god.
yeah,
Okay, that's like the coolest thing ever.
it's really cute.
Chomp, get over here. I'm dressing you up as Clown. Oh, that's amazing. Without a Net from the community would like to know how many sewing machines do you actually have, and do you use one or a special machine or a number of machines to actually make your costumes?
So I technically have 3 sewing machines. Well, 4 if you count my serger, but I only use one of them because I broke the others.
Oh no.
But a lot of the sewing that I do too at work, like for kind of simpler things that I know are just like I can get this right. I do use a lot of the machines at my job because we have industrial sergers there. So we have like a regular industrial serger and a hemming machine. So it just makes things so much easier. It's also very hard to work all day like at a machine that goes like I think the speed of it is like 3,220 or something, and then I come home to my sewing machine, which is like I don't know, maybe like 500 or something. Is like it makes a difference, and it's very like grueling to sit there and have to use it.
Oh yeah. No, I mean anytime that I travel and I have to take like my laptop with me to do editing
Oh yeah,
on,
yeah, it's like the same thing.
I'm like, why did I ever do this to myself? Like, I have a super powerful desktop waiting for me at home.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this on a laptop? But yeah, no, I totally could see how that could be a thing.
Yeah.
So, like, if like staying on this little topic here about like the equipment and stuff that you use, if you were like, would you say would be a cosplayer's starter kit? Like, what are some tools, some things that you would say this is a must-have, or this is the one thing you need to learn how to do if you were going to start cosplaying?
So it depends on the type of cosplay that you want to build. So like Tina, for instance. I know we keep coming back to Tina, but she was
Always back to
both.
Tina. That's great for me.
She had both like sewing elements and armor. So I think that everyone should learn how to sew some basics, but sewing is its own weird enigma of like shapes and learning how to read patterns, which aren't always the right sizes and stuff like that. So sewing is not an easy task to just pick up. I do think that armor is quite a bit easier. So like if you wanted to make an armor cosplay, like you just need like EVA foam, a Dremel, some X-Acto knives, and a big knife, and contact cement, and like that's all you need. And I think the best way to learn stuff like that is just honestly like buying cheap foam. Like get cheap foam first. Like the first costume that I built with foam, I used like those colorful thin crappy ones that you get from like Michael's that for kids crafts,
There
and it
you
was
go.
made all out of that. But if you just play with things, the longer that you do it, the easier you'll learn shapes that you need to make breastplates, helmets, stuff like that. There's also a lot of resources online for armor builds now that you can honestly just print out the pattern for it, cut it out, and stick it together.
Wow.
Whereas when you sew something, that doesn't always work.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine. But I mean, even like the whole armor builds and stuff like that I see that people do and that you've done, like that just looks crazy intimidating to me. Like the idea of like, because I am not super artistic. Like if it's not on a screen, I can't really get my fingers to like do that. Like, so like, is that something like you were? Do you feel like having a background with art or being an artistic person helps a lot with cosplay, or is this something that, you know, if you want to do it, you can just pick it up and learn it type thing?
I think that having an artistic background definitely does help in a big way. But like I said before, like you honestly could probably just do it. If you like look up like Star Wars stuff, there's like Star Wars helmet patterns on the internet that you can literally just print them out. And then there's so many YouTube videos on how-tos, like how to stick them together and stuff like that. So I say just always try it out if that's something that you're interested in. I think anyone can pick it up. I just think that if you have an artistic background, it's just going to be a little bit easier for you to pick up. But YouTube, man, it's a hell of a thing.
YouTube is a hell of a thing. Not sponsored. Partner me, YouTube. Anyway. So we've talked about what your favorite cosplay that you've done, but I want to know, what is your least favorite cosplay you've ever done for any reason, whether that be like the amount of hours you sank into it, or like, can you think of one that you could think of that would be like, oh, that bastard of a cosplay that I did, like it was just so hard or whatever?
I don't know if there's really one that was like too hard, but there are a few that I just like walked away from that I just like gave up on.
Oh man.
Not that I like hate them, I just like, I don't know, I just didn't feel it. And anything that I've like worn, if I absolutely hated it, I probably wouldn't have worn it. So I walked away from Butcher Rose. I had started that costume. I got pretty far with it, but like, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, that I just kind of like, I put it in a box and walked away. And that was supposed to be my competition outfit.
Oh.
I had started a costume. Honestly can't even tell you the name of this character because I don't remember. It was like announced. I saw it. I thought it was really cool. And then I never even played the game when it came out. But there's a game. Oh, there's a game called Naraka Blade Point. And the character's name is Crimson Knight. And like, she was very cool. Like, she was like a blind geisha-like swordswoman, and I made like 90% of that costume. I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't want it. I never walked back. And you know what? I actually kind of hated that costume because she's got like a big ponytail, and like I hate wig working. I absolutely despise it.
That was gonna actually be my next question. Is like,
Ah,
what is the hardest part of a cosplay for you?
if it's not a foam wig, I don't want it, but I still have to do it always. I absolutely hate wig working. The fibers of the hair, they get everywhere and they're just messy and it's just terrible.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound like fun to me at all.
No, it's terrible. I'm reworking my Borderlands 3 Moxie wig because it's in some sad shape and I'm hating it. Hating it. I hate it every time I redo it.
So you've used the term a couple times, like walking away from a piece. At what point during a design, like a build or a design or something, is there ever a point that you reach where you're like, okay, this is where I know that I need to walk away from this, or I'm going to go ahead and keep pursuing it? Like, is there ever a mental check that you do or a mental place you come to where you're like, you know what, this just isn't happening, or this has been a difficult one, but I'm going to keep going. Like what would make you walk away from a piece, I guess is the best way to put that question.
Honestly, I don't think it's anything in particular. Sometimes I just not feeling it. Like, I put probably a good 70 hours into my Butcher Rose cosplay, and I was just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just not cool that I want to be it. Like, I didn't have the passion to work on it anymore, I guess.
Yeah. That's kind of the root of all content creation, right? Is
Yeah.
passion,
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
not even content creation, but just like anything you're doing for that level, whether it's professionally with like cooking or something like that, or content creation or cosplay or whatever. If that passion disappears, then it's really hard to keep it going.
Yep.
So that's totally understandable. I can definitely relate to that. There have been so many videos that I've started making and then just been like, you know what? No. So on top of being an incredible cosplayer, you also have been streaming on Twitch. How different or similar to cosplay is Twitch streaming in the sense of like the work ethic and stuff like that you bring from cosplay? Do you apply that to Twitch? Is it so different for you? Like, what's it like being a cosplayer and then putting that kind of aside and then being a Twitch streamer? Like, how do those two kind of meld with each other?
So I actually got into streaming because I was streaming in cosplay. So I made them like work together, but like I honestly just stream for the fun of it. It's not like anything serious for me. It's sometimes I just want to hang out and chill out. Like I said before, like that's the one thing, the first thing that I give up when I just don't have enough time. I would love to invest more time into it, but I tried. I don't work Tuesdays at my day job. And like Tuesdays, I was like, yeah, I'm going to stream. I'm going to do it every Tuesday. And that lasted for about 3 weeks before like my workload piled up and it was just too much and I couldn't balance it. So I was like, guess we're not doing this anymore.
But that's awesome that you're able to do that, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't have like a huge following, so it's not like I don't think I'm letting anybody down.
We'll fix that.
I honestly just like to chill out sometimes. But sometimes I gotta be really in the mood to play a video game too, and sometimes I just don't feel like it. And now I haven't felt like it.
Keeping on that same line from Mother Stacy, she wants to know, what is your favorite form of self-care, or do you have other hobbies that you use to kind of, recenter yourself, get rid of some of that burnout? Like, what's some other stuff that you do, or what is your favorite form of self-care?
Just doing nothing is my favorite form of self-care. I pick up like small hobbies like here and there. Like a few weeks ago I started like jewelry wrapping crystals. I only have a small one here, but I made a little bracelet.
Oh, look at
that. And that's like I like really mindless tasks. And that's like a mindless task that you're just wrapping wire around each other for a few hours, and it's just like totally clears your head. Just put on some music or watch some TV and just chill out.
Just kind of wrap things.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. But I mean, that is really super important too.
Oh yeah.
To have something that, like you said, I love the term that you used earlier when you said palate cleansing, because that's exactly what it is, right? That is excellent. So obviously, being a Borderlands fan and stuff like that, you're a gamer as well. So looking back, like, is there a game that you can think of that, like, early on or whatever, just that you played and you're like, what is that one game that gave you the love of gaming and obviously influenced a lot of what you do now?
BioShock.
100%
BioShock. I was like, I don't know, 16 or 17, and I just remember, like, you couldn't peel me away from my Xbox. And I always had, like, a system, and would just play, like, games casually, but, like, I don't know, BioShock was like, what is this story? It was just amazing.
So then would you say that you're, like, when you play a game, are you the type of gamer that is, like, all about story, or are you about gameplay?
Oh, yeah. No, story, 100%. I don't give a crap about gameplay. So when people talk about all the things that they're like, I want this in Wonderlands, I want this, I'm like, I don't care about that. That means nothing to me. I just want to shoot things and save Butt Stallion.
There you go. There is not a thing wrong with that. We're all Wonderlands lovers here, so.
I honestly, all the games I could play countless times, and I've seen all the story a million times, and it doesn't matter. I just still love it.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Yeah, no, BioShock is an exceptional game.
So good, so good.
My first experiences with BioShock, like, I will never forget. And just in case, by the off chance there's somebody listening or watching who has never played BioShock, first of all, how dare you?
Yeah.
Second of all, I will not spoil anything, but Jesus Christ, like I
think my mind was completely blown when they did Burial at Sea.
Yes.
Like, that was perfect, just perfect.
Here's another interesting question for you. What is your favorite hot take or unpopular opinion that you have?
I don't want to get yelled at for this.
There will be no yelling, I promise.
I just think that everyone needs to stop worshiping Borderlands 2 like it's the only Borderlands game that has ever been released. Please, for the love of God. Is it amazing? Yes. Is it probably my favorite? Yes, but you don't need to shut everything down in everything that's done because you liked Borderlands 2, please. Please don't yell at me.
Thank you.
Please don't yell at me, anybody.
No, nobody is going to yell at you. Okay.
I don't think Borderlands 3's story was as bad as everybody, like, tried to make it out to be, just because they hated the twins. Like,
Yeah, that's an opinion that I've been trying to shout down from my meager platform for a long time. It's like, me and Killer 6 have that in common. We both have the same argument. It's like, okay, but did you actually pay attention to the story in Borderlands 2? Because there's, if you took Jack out of the equation, how much is really going on there?
Yeah.
But anyway, now we're all going to get yelled at.
Oh, I know. I could keep going. Let's talk about pre-sequel.
Oh, no!
I like the story of pre-sequel.
I honestly, genuinely think that the pre-sequel had the best story of all of the
Borderlands. I love the story of pre-sequel. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. People always, like, take a dump on that game, and I liked it. Sue me.
Yeah. It has, I honestly think the pre-sequel has the best story, and probably
it's very coherent.
Yeah, and it's concise, and it's very, like, everything is just so, it flows so well together, and then it probably has, in my opinion, the second best DLC of all time in Claptastic Voyage.
Yep.
I mean, that DLC is just, nobody gives. We're just going to take a moment here to give some real respect and love to Borderlands the pre-sequel. Borderlands the pre-sequel, you don't get enough respect from this community.
It really doesn't. It doesn't.
And right now, we're giving you all the love pre-sequel.
So much love.
Now, if only you had some more in-game. No, I won't.
See, stuff like that doesn't matter to me.
I will never leave Pickle alone either. So.
Oh no, we can all agree though. Terrible character.
Oh man! All right. So here's a question that I always like to ask too. If you couldn't do what you do right now for work,
Oh, don't ask me that.
But then you could also do anything else. Like you can't do what you're doing now, but you could literally do anything else, and it would be your job. What would that be?
I literally do not have an answer for that question. I was like a kid that had like aspirations to do cool things, and then like got out of high school and worked retail for a really long time, and then just kind of ended up with my job. So I have no clue. I don't have interest in like work things. So
Okay. Well then, if you could wave a magic wand then and make any of your hobbies, like, you would be instantly paid for it, a perfect livable wage.
Oh, it would be cosplay, well, obviously.
Okay. Yeah, that was a question. Now that I think about it, that was a really dumb question.
That's our end goal.
Yeah.
Livable wage.
Livable wage for content creators. Let's do this. YouTube, listen. No, I'm kidding.
Only half kidding.
Only half kidding. Yeah. Pay me. No. Okay. All right. I got one more then. If you were a music event producer and you could assemble your dream concert, which 3 bands would you invite?
Okay, the first band would be Dance Gavin Dance.
Ooh, interesting.
My all-time favorite band.
I love it.
Ice Nine Kills.
Okay.
I don't know. I cycle through the same few bands. And now that you're asking me, I can't answer this question. Wait, I'm literally looking at my Spotify right now.
Pull up your playlist right now.
I don't know, because I like go through these like, sometimes I think bands don't have like flawless albums, so I'll just like binge like one album when it comes out, but then there's like old ones I don't like or whatever. Right now, like I've been really into Motionless and Coheed.
Oh. So, man, I haven't listened to Coheed in forever.
Their new album just came out. It's very good. It's been on repeat in this house for the last 2 days.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up then, because that you're speaking some of my like my youth right there. Coheed and The Used and all of those.
Oh man, I saw a thing the other day that was like 20 years ago The Used released their first CD, and I was like, don't say that, I'm old.
Yeah, no, that just makes me sad.
Yeah.
Like anytime that I'm scrolling through TikTok and it's like, these songs turned 30 this year, I'm like,
no.
Shoot me. Like, I am getting old. Fun. All right. Well, hey, it is wrapping up to about an hour now. Jessilyn, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has truly been like an amazing delight to get to talk to you and learn a little bit more about cosplay and about what you do. Please, shameless self-promotion right now. Where can our audience go to find out more about you and support you and your content?
I am on, all your social medias, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I hate my TikTok, but follow me on TikTok.
Yeah!
JessilynCupcake across the board. I also do have a Patreon for my cosplay and spicy stuff. If anyone wants to support me there. Yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Well, make sure you guys all go check that out and give her some love and support on her content pages. I know you guys will, because you are an amazing audience. But it is that time. We have had all the time we can have in the confessional this evening. I want to thank you again, JessilynCupcake, for coming on and talking to us. And thank each and every one of you people in the audience for being with us today. You asked some awesome questions. It was really great having you all here. If you have any further questions or a guest suggestion or anything else, go ahead and leave a comment down in the video, down below, and go ahead and leave a comment on the video if you are watching this on YouTube. If you're joining us in audio format on your favorite podcasting site, please leave us a review. We would love to hear from you, and it really helps us to get this show out to more people. Thank you guys again so much. Jessilyn, thank you again as well for being on. It's really been awesome.
Thank
really
you.
been awesome. All right, everybody. Be excellent to each other, and we will see you all again next time in the confessional. Good night, guys.